Hey guys, Jackzer here, and today I am bringing you a first impressions of the P1000 pedals by Simagic. I've had these pedals now for about a month, and I've been really happy with them, and I will give a kind of, how they feel, how they operate, how I've installed them, and kind of my general impressions of them over the past month. So a lot of people have asked me, what do you think? A lot of people have helped me very kindly to set them up with different setups for the brake pedal. But in general, I think it'd be useful to give you guys the impression that I got off them. If you're looking to buy them, if you're looking to research them, or if you're just looking to have a scope of the whole area of hardware of sim race. What's probably useful for you to know while formulating your own thoughts and opinion, that everything here are my own thoughts. This stuff was sent to me by Simagic because they are a supporter of the channel. They're not a sponsor or anything like that, or nor was this stuff sent for review. They just saw I love the product Simmad. I loved my Alpha Mini and FXC that I had, and they decided to hook me up with a load of good gear so I can race and make content and, continue what I'm doing, which is really loving my Simagic gear. So it's a very simple relationship we have. This is just out of my own will. I want to do this video because I'm really impressed with these pedals, and I'd like to go over what I think is really cool and maybe anything I think that could make them better. Bring it on back. I came from the V&M pedal set. Really cool pedal set. It's about €250 more expensive than these pedals, but oddly enough, when I tried these straight away, the performance was right there. Like, I was right on the pace straight away. And sometimes when you get new pedals, they might not be set up the way you want. And they had a lot of potential out of the box. So they were set up pretty soft. If any of you remember, I did a video a while ago. It was the Mazdas on the Nürburgring Grand Prix track. I tried these, and you'll see how like ecstatic I am, because the throttle shape is like more like this, whereas on the VNMs it was more like that. It was like, parabolic, exponential. Whereas with these pedals, it's more of like an aggressive, it gets straight on it and then it peels onto it. Something that suits my driving style very well, something I couldn't really beat out of the VNMs. Same with the brake. Yes, it was set up too soft, so if you watch that video, I was actually super slow, but the trailing I could get done, I could go all the way until the last percent and really choose the control, where with my VNMs, it was quite jagged, even on the lightest kind of setup. It's just the way, with my foot maybe, that the lever and the pedal work together. So instantly out of the box, I knew there was potential because I could trail, the car could rotate in a way it could never do on the entry, on the trail braking. And then with this new aggressive throttle, I could really, really crank the car. So there was a lot of potential with it. Opening this out of the box was a pleasure, I guess. It was pretty good. There was nothing I could fault. Came with heavy duty foam, no damage on the box. The pedals were together. So I picked up a pedal thinking it was going to come out loose. It's already pre-made, like it's plug and play, it's nice because, there's a lot of things that you have to do when installing pedals and stuff. So having them already pre-assembled in the box, absolute game changer. Like, you take that out, because some other manufacturers, they just give you pedals in pieces, and that's fair enough. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes rigs, they only have spots for two pedals. They're literally mounted raw onto the aluminium. That's fine. But these just came on the kind of plate, the pedal plate, let's say, and the heel rest came separately, and you just put that on, put 4 screws, and that's it. Pop it onto your rig, drop 4 screws, tighten them up, it's on your rig, USB, plug it in, you're good. Literally like that. Open up SimPro software, do a firmware update, calibrate it. You're ready to rock. So in that sense, like, I don't know, I didn't really see anything that stuck out to me being like, oh, I wish this was better. Like, really, honestly, it was easy going. So maybe one thing that can convey a bit better the performance of these pedals. So when I started off, I guess this is when the split happened, March. Now, obviously, skill, a lot of other factors contribute to why I've had a spike recently. I got the gear around here. What I will say is that I have personally done a lot of growth in my racing, as far as how I enter corners and how I treat a race and how I treat my own pace, how I drive the car, how I manage all that stuff, my own skill has improved quite a lot recently. But I will say that the pedals have allowed me to do it, like 100%, because I've had a lot of opportunities to grow here recently. But this is all with my V&M pedals. I tried a few adjustments here and there. I did land on one, but I just couldn't break through. And I got to a point where I knew what to be doing. It's just with some of my trail braking, it just wasn't enough. With the way, personally, the way I could set up the V&M pedals, I had like a a blue spring, and then down onto 2 white polyurethane little rubbers or elastomers, I guess. But then recently in the super formulas, these pedals have enabled me to go pretty quick and consistent. I haven't been making much major mistakes. I've been going up against much faster guys than me, and doing really, really well recently. And, you know, what I'm saying is, I'm not going to say the pedals increased my I rating, but let's put it this way, you know, in a month of having them, there's very little adjustment period, and they haven't made my I rating go down. So, like, I'm pretty sure these can carry me to 3K and beyond, because I was racing guys 6, 7K. So now I know it's not the hardware, because this hardware is on par with whatever they're using. It's down to my drive and my racing and my consistency and training. So moving on from that. Adjusting these pedals is great. It's simple, it's toolless, I guess, as they call it. What you do is you just basically you spin it clockwise, undo it. You remove the preload, which takes all the compression off of it. You pop out the barrel. You kind of flick off the screw, similar to in Green Hornet, the way he opens the bottle cap, you know. And then you can take out your thing, the set inside the system, and change what you want, make any adjustments, pop it back in, literally put it onto the bar, slot it back onto the huge little, the firm ball bearing thing, or not the ball bearing, like the steel little ball on the back that holds it in place. Add your preload, which for me, the system that I like on it is the blue spring. And then I like the blue spring, one blue polyurethane rubber, and then 3 reds. That's me. 2 washers each side, 1 in the middle. That works super. You have about 4 threads of preload. I measure by threads. I don't know why. There's probably a better system down there. But one thing I noticed is if you do too much preload, which I do like quite a bit of preload, the threads can kind of get a bit, you know, there's not much threads left in there. So you kind of want to be careful. You start getting a little bit of squeaking. So I just wish there was like a longer threaded bar. That way you could really have an extreme amount of preload if that's what you're into. And one other thing is that if you do too much preload, which I mean too much, like beyond the manufacturer specification, like you really have this thing too hard, you lose a bit of fidelity on the trail braking. Now that might just be me with my setup, but what happens is as you're lifting and trail braking and you think you're done, it was actually done like a second ago, if you get me. So kind of a bit odd there, but that's if you use extreme amounts of preload, which I've stopped doing, and now I've kind of skyrocketed in I rating. So something's happening right. Another thing that I'm looking into too is going to be like the modulability. That's the second time in this channel I've used that word. I'm going to go with it. It's probably an easier way to say it. Modulability. No, it's modular. And you can put HPR reactors, I think they're called, on it. Basically little, I think they're like solenoids, which, you know, like a doorbell, when you press it on, off, a little rod inside, like with a magnet goes, doo, doo. And, you know, you can program that to run whatever way you want. So for ABS, you can get it, you know, clicking under your feet, similar to your car. Traction control, you can get wheel slip, that kind of thing. Even on the clutch, if you really want to. There's a hydraulic system you can get. There's RGB lighting that can go where the Keep Racing logo is of Simagic. There is a lot you can do with the pedals. As far as adjustability goes, it's pretty cool in the sense that I could raise they were a bit short for me. So the pedal faces had to go up a bit. And then I turned them towards me. You can actually adjust them, like the angle of the plate, not just the arm itself, but there's a joint in the middle of the arm where you can adjust the angle. Sounds a bit silly, but it's very, very useful if you want a really aggressive kind of, the pedals really coming at you perfectly, like straight, you know. So I'm a big fan of that. When it comes to the clutch, I don't really use it too much. I don't use it that much at all. It is a very basic clutch. It's very easy to heel toe if you're into that with these pedals. Extremely easy. So that's fine if you're into that kind of thing, or if you drive manual cars. I don't really drive them too much, but if you do want to play around with that for drifting or whatever, these are really, really good pedals for that. You can set them up in all sorts of different ways. It comes with like a leaflet that says, you know, GT3 setup, Formula 1 setup, all this. You can, again, with the preload, if you have too much preload, you can get a little squeak out of the brake pedal, which I'm not too keen on, but that's kind of my fault for kind of trying to push the limits of it too much. Again, the limit of proper performance and the true sensitivity and fidelity that this pedal has to offer is not with maximum preload. It's somewhere just a little bit back, and you get complete utter control. And you'll see this in some of my videos recently, like the trail braking that I'm doing is so smooth. You skip back 3 months ago, you're going to see some horrible fighting. So it's just the simplicity of these pedals are nice. They're much cheaper than my pedals. Like I swapped the V&Ms out for these, and I was shocked because the V&Ms are more expensive. I thought I was going to put these on, be like, hey, Simagic sent them to me. I'm not going to be rude and not use them, you know what I mean? I'll try them out for a while, but I'm sure I'm going back to my V&Ms. Those V&Ms aren't even in the building. I gave them to my friend. They're gone. Like, you know, he has a loan of them. He's loving them now. They're great pedals, but just for myself, these clicked with me instantly. They were too light at the start. I messed around with a few different settings, landed on this, and I have to say, It's golden. So if you're interested in getting these pedals, I would say they are definitely worth being on your list. Obviously, do a lot of looking around, do a lot of research. Look at the more lengthier reviews. Check out Boosted Media. He always does a really in-depth review. There's lots of different reviews you can check out there. But in general, my thoughts, I'm really happy with them. And what's funny was I underestimated them, and they really blew, like, my expectations were completely, like, I was thrilled with these. Like, I they met my expectations, and then what's the word? They surpassed them. They surpassed my expectations because I thought they were going on my rig for a quick test and then I'll go back to my more expensive pedals. Absolutely not. These things are ridiculously consistent, and the way you can set up threshold braking with these is a way that, there's load cell pedals out there, but load cell pedals that can be set up properly and have a really well defined threshold, that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for speed and consistency, these have it to offer. So if you have any questions, let me know down below. If any of you guys have P1000s and you have anything you want to let me know about them, or other people who might be in the comment section looking to buy, looking to research, that kind of thing, let them know. Likewise, Simagic will probably be watching. So if you have any ideas or anything you want to put it down below. Come to the Discord if you need a hand with anything Simagic related, or, we have a lot of Simagic fans in the Discord. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this little first impressions, and I will see you in the next one.